Floyd Mayweather has revealed why he believes Gervonta Tank Davis's career may be coming to an end. He also disclosed that he had warned Davis about the harsh realities of boxing. Mayweather emphasized that fighters must plan ahead for life beyond the ring.
The name of the game is boxing. The name of the game is not slugging, because when the fight game is over, when boxing is all over, and you hang it up like me, you still want to be able to have your faculties. You still want to be able to have your brain. That's more important than anything. The money. Your health is more important than anything. The name of the game is to hit and not get hit. And I was the best at doing it, and I'm going to continue to teach these young fighters. The name of the game is to...
In 2024, Gervonta Davis reached new heights in his career. His performances in the ring captivated fans, and his popularity soared to unprecedented levels. With an unbeaten record, he was considered one of the most dominant fighters in his division. His pay-per-view numbers were strong, and his star power was undeniable.
Recently, Tank Davis decided to upload this on his Instagram. Not sure what's wrong with Tank Davis. I don't know what legal issues he's having because he has a hearing close. I'm not sure when the date is, but him and Floyd Mayweather have always had this weird relationship where sometimes Tank doesn't seem to be in good terms, and then sometimes they are in good terms. The energy is off. Let me know what you guys think that post means, what he's going through. I hope he's doing good, because we want him to fight, and we want him to fight really good opposition. So let me know what you guys think. What's going on with Tank?
Leaving Floyd Mayweather's promotion was one of the most debated decisions of Davis's career. While gaining control over his career may have seemed like a smart move, many argue that Mayweather's experience and guidance could have helped him navigate the boxing world more effectively. As a legend of the sport, Mayweather understood both the business and competitive aspects of boxing, and had...
So I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. Fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, Gamboa. Like, those aren't the fights that we want.
In 2024, Gervonta Davis reached new heights in his career. His performances in the ring captivated fans, and his popularity soared to unprecedented levels. With an unbeaten record, he was considered one of the most dominant fighters in his division. His pay-per-view numbers were strong, and his star power was undeniable.
Stand on its own. As of 2024, the brand of Tank Davis is one of the most commercially and financially successful ones in all of boxing, standing shoulder to shoulder with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's so successful, in fact, that a lot of people say that Tank's popularity outranks his actual achievements, pointing to several different instances where it seemed like Tank was avoiding the best competition in his weight class and getting preferential treatment based on who he is and who he's associated with.
Despite his success, Davis has faced criticism from certain boxing analysts and fans. Some argue that he is overrated, particularly among casual fans who may not fully grasp the technical aspects of the sport, while his knockout power and flashy style have drawn admiration. Skeptics believe that he has not consistently faced the best competition in his division. Many feel that his impressive record lacks true challenges against top-tier opponents, making his dominance appear somewhat misleading.
Hey, yo, they did Max Kellerman dirty for real, but go ahead, bro.
He said Tank is overrated by people that don't know boxing, and he's underrated by people that do know boxing. And
that's boss.
What he meant by that,
that's boss. I agree with that.
What he meant by that is that if you don't know boxing, you don't know who Tank is.
A major criticism surrounding Davis is the quality of his opponents. Analysts suggest that his team has carefully selected fights that favor him, avoiding the most dangerous competitors. While this is a common strategy in boxing to maintain a fighter's marketability, it has led to questions about whether Davis is truly being tested at the highest level. Fans have long wanted to see him take on tougher challenges, but many feel his resume lacks defining victory.
Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the most overrated fighters in the sport of boxing right now, and not because of his skills, but because of his resume, and resume does matter. In my opinion, he's a victim of what I call Terrence Crawford syndrome, where you have a really bad promoter who only wants you to fight in promotion fighters who you know that they can 100% beat. If Tank Davis wants to be great, he's going to have to fight one of the other champions in the two divisions that he fights in, 135 pounds and 140 pounds. I'm going to list off all the champions in those divisions and tell you if I think he can beat them or not. So first we got the only other full champion in 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson. If they fought, I think Tank has a good chance of maybe knocking him out in the later rounds, but if I had to bet my house on it, I would say Shakur Stevenson would beat him in a close decision, and it would end up probably being a boring fight. But I think Shakur has the skills to beat Tank Davis over a long 12-round fight. Now we have Subriel Matias, who's a scary Terminator-like fighter who gives up the early rounds to come on later and drown you in those later rounds, but he's very stiff and he doesn't have very good footwork at all. I think Tank Davis will probably, box his face off for most of the 12 rounds. There might be some trouble in the late rounds, but if Tank can stay out of trouble, I think this is one of the few champions that he would beat, but I don't think he would fight him.
After his fight against Lamont Roach, Davis faced intense criticism for not securing a knockout. Roach had moved up in weight to fight Davis, and many expected Tank to dominate him. However, the fact that Roach went the distance and made the fight competitive raised doubts about Davis's performance. Critics pointed out that a truly elite fighter should have been able to stop a smaller opponent, suggesting that this fight may have
a minus 1600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. Earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
Ryan Garcia, a fellow lightweight star, weighed in on Davis's controversial...
Ryan Garcia, a fellow lightweight star, weighed in on Davis's controversial 9th-round moment against Lamont Roach. Garcia argued that Davis taking a knee should have been ruled a knockdown. According to boxing rules, his comments further fueled the debate over the fight's officiating, with many questioning whether Davis benefited from a favorable ruling. This incident has only intensified calls for a
the knockdown with Tank.
That was a knockdown, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
and that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank and I like Tank a lot, but you can't do that shit.
They reversed the result of your fight.
Yeah.
Should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
Just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right, to keep the integrity of the sport. So I feel like if you're gonna do it to me, you got to do it to everybody.
Following the fight against Roach, many fans began questioning whether Davis is as skilled as he is often portrayed. Seeing a relatively lesser-known fighter challenge him raised concerns about his ability to handle top-tier competition. Fans expected him to dominate, but instead, they witnessed a closely contested fight that exposed...
Now, I did not score this fight a draw. I had it 7-5 to Lamont Roach. I thought he had the ring generalship and effective pressure. He was landing the jab and effective combinations. Tank, as usual, had a very low output, and he was relying on one big shot. I gave Roach the first 3 rounds, Tank the next 3 rounds, and then Roach 4 the last 6 rounds to win the fight. Not to mention, Tank did take a knee in the middle of the fight. By rule, that should have been considered a knockdown. Yes, it was to get his mouthpiece, and that's why they didn't rule it a knockdown. But anytime a fighter takes a knee, that's a knockdown. And that would have given Roach 1 more point to win the fight. Now, I'm sure they'll run it back. Lamont Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. He just had the fight of his life. He wasn't scared to go toe-to-toe with Tank. Landing his combinations, the bigger counters, and the more effective shots. He definitely deserves a second payday. Now, in the co-main event, Gary Antoine Russell put on an amazing performance. I think he won 11 or 12 rounds against Raya Valenzuela. Great hand speed, good combinations, masterclass to win the WBA title. And then in the featured bout, Alberto Puello beat Sandor Martin to retain his WBC title. He landed the cleaner left hands, definitely won the last 2 to 3 rounds to edge the fight. But overall, good card. I do think Roach won the fight though.
During his fight against Roach, Davis was seen shouting at...
During the fight against Roach, Davis was seen shouting at his coach, Calvin Ford, in the corner, As Ford attempted to wipe sweat from his face and give instructions, Davis interrupted, saying, "You gotta stop and listen to me." This exchange raised